Analytics components and then analytics solutions. To use the analytics components, it's just a relatively low-cost unlock license that enables the analytic functionality on your unit, be it a single ICR type camera or a full 16-channel or more server. That gives you basic tripwires, basic object left, object removed. So if all you want to do with your analytics is say, well, I want to be able to review my event list on everyone entering the building, have a tripwire facing inwards on entering the building. Could also be you want to separately be able to easily review the people leaving the building, leaving the car park. May even be a health and safety. You may have a car park around your business that has a one-way system. You've got to come in one way and go out. There'll always be someone who's going to come in and decide they're not going to go all the way around because they're right at the start and goes back out the opposite way. And you could use analytics to detect that. It's not going to change your life. It's not going to alter the way in which you run the business, but it adds a degree of value. And just utilising a component of that nature in that way will give you a return on investment. But it may well be that in fact you want to have a more targeted, sophisticated solution. It could be the fact that what you really want is some form of behavioural type detection. For example, someone walking down a line of cars or walking down a building and stopping to look in each window. If the guy's walking home from the pub, cuts across the grass because the housing, your building is in the industrial state between the pub and his house, he's going to walk across the grass behind, and cut the corner past your building. That's not someone preparing to break into the building. If on the way he looks into every single window, the stock looks in every single window, well, now there's a damn good chance that that is a behavioural indication he's planning to break into a building. That sort of algorithm is built from components like tripwires, like object tracking and all the rest of it, and then a higher level algorithm does the detailed analysis that actually achieves a certain thing, and that's what we call a solution. We take components, we add a second layer of intelligence over the basic raw image processing layer and make that into a solution. You've got to be doing it for a reason. You've got to have a real problem that you want to solve, and it's got to be something that you're willing to invest the time and effort in. Well, if you're a car park group and you want to invest in that across all of your car parks, and it's something that you feel is a practical thing to do, great, go out there, do it. We will support you. We'll have the technology to do that. So we believe that analytics can be applied both on the high volume basis and on the specialist niche applications. But just when you're selling it or when you're trying to specify a user, try and remember which one it is that you're doing. And of course, we are experienced in analytics within the group. DTEC, smoke and flame detection, the leading smoke and flame detection company in the world. Certainly been doing it the longest, and I believe the most effective. So within our total skill set within the business, and say with the activity sector right back in 1989, we have all the skill set to do good analytics, and we will be continuing to invest in that to help with that return on investment on the product. Another benefit of our own technology is that we're not just a hard codec. It's a completely flexible video DSP. So again, you'll have seen products that you can buy as an add-on that allow you to have a 360-degree vision. A couple of years ago, the Eclipse 360, it was Grandi. It was going to be the big thing, and no one was going to install any other type of cameras than these. And it wasn't just going to be IP cameras. It was going to be fisheye Grandis were the only things that were going to be installed. You want to see them at the show? Another one that's been and gone. It wasn't a good return on investment. There's all sorts of flaws that you had to even be at the camera, be near the camera to even replay what you'd recorded. So you couldn't take the video away and replay it somewhere else. It was expensive. It used a lot of power. It ran very hot. There was a lot of operational expense, maintenance expense from that heat management, and it didn't meet that goal of return on investment. Now, because we are now achieving it using just the power of our DSP, the silicon that's already there, the silicon we've already optimized for that very purpose. If you want a 360-degree solution with our technology, take your preferred camera, hopefully one of ours, and Camview 2000 is absolutely ideal for it. Take your lens, either full 180 or maybe a near 180, because again the price performance point for those last 2 or 3 degrees can be quite dramatic. Select for that camera on and your configuration the specification of the lens. Enjoy. Now, whenever you actually go to that, we will de-warp in the viewer, in the replay environment of that camera, and give you that 360 immersive capability. And that's either on analog cameras, IP cameras, but all you're doing is adding the lens and enabling the feature, because our DSP has been optimized to be able to perform that function as well as all the others, in its basic mode of operation. So again, extending the capabilities of your system, giving you something you didn't realise you were necessarily able to get within the target budget and performance, exceed expectation. Feel towards it. Now, emergency messaging and display, again, another great way of using technology to exceed people's expectation. With most CCTV environments, you've already got all the key components. You've got video processing, you've got video DSPs or codecs, you've got storage, you've probably got quite possibly got some form of display. You've probably got communications, and even in mobile assets, you've probably got communications there, tracking the vehicle, serious incident, panic buttons or whatever. Why not use all those resources to not just do the primary job of being your CCTV surveillance, but to achieve a second benefit? The first one that we started doing some 4 or 5 years ago was to use those assets to actually generate revenue or add value to the organisation by distributing information in media displays. We've got a number of projects now whereby, apart from the security equipment being a grudge purchase, it's actually become a revenue generator, because the infrastructure that was put in place to provide for the security now provides an advertising and media display for, I think, a very low incremental cost of the display. Over the last 12 months, we've taken this concept a step further, and said, well, with our latest user interface, we have a very scriptable, open standard JavaScript HTML-based graphical user interface built into every single product. Again, because of the power of what we've been able to achieve with the latest chip rights device. That was one of our goals, that it would be capable of running that type of environment. This means that we can distribute a very simple message, maybe a very short message, maybe a message that doesn't need to be sent over an IP network at all. They go over an FM pager network if necessary. Based on that single message, each user will get a message tailored to what is appropriate to them, based on rules. You start off by defining your emergency procedures, your standard operating procedures for each emergency. You have to have an emergency plan. If you haven't planned, then it's all just going to, we can't be psychic and suddenly work it out on the hoop for you then. But let's assume that in a given circumstance you do have robust emergency planning. All you now have to do is embody those emergency plans and the criteria in essentially a micro website. That's actually running on our units. The net result of this is, let's take one of the more unfortunate but repetitive things we keep hearing. The guy in the dining hall with machine gun, shooting fellow students to campus. One of the worst things in that situation is the panic. It's the confusion. It's the people running everywhere. It's the people running into the incident. It's managing that. Not right time someone's had time to think about it, but managing it now, getting the right guidance, the right decisions to those people immediately. How do you achieve that with our solution? You go to your VMS, you click on the map, you say Matt Goodman scenario, and click here, he's in the dining hall. What now happens?